Okay. Does anybody else take bong rips with me when they listen to this? Whoever does listen to this. I'm sorry my intros feel so unbelievably long, but you know what? I like to think of it as treasure. Can you last? Do you have the attention span to wait 30 seconds, 40 seconds, even a minute before somebody speaks? You know, how fried are our fucking brains at this point? Is it all the Bluetooth? Is it all the I don't know, man. I sound like Truth Bomber from The Boys, but in terms of what's on my brain as of today, I feel unbelievably lucky. I got to visit my girlfriend's grandmother, and that was really nice. And it makes me want to go visit my grandmother. Both my grandmothers are alive. I am Dominican, so everybody in my family is relatively young for the time that they had a kid. You know what I mean? They're still kicking. Grandfathers, down and out on both sides for different reasons, but it just really tells you something about men, dude. Here's a question for the people who do listen now, in the past, and hopefully in the future. Would you rather die first, or how do I phrase this? Who would you rather die first, you or your significant other? Personally, I'd rather her die. God, I don't know. Death is fucking unbelievably scary, so you can look at it as you're sacrificing somebody into the unknown by saying that, even the person you love the most, or you could be selfless and say yourself. And being selfless shouldn't always be correlated with a good thing, as the path to hell is paved with baby blood, or good intentions, whatever you want to call it. So, I don't know. That's a really, really tough one as to who. I think I'd rather die. Not even think. I don't know. I don't want her to go through the pain, but that pain is. You got to trade that for the fact that I'm going to go into the unknown. Jesus Christ, if there's nothing, if there's nothing after this, I'd rather take the bullet for her. As much as I want to live, Jesus Christ, and believe me, I want to live. I think everybody does. For there to be truly nothing. That's a question. That's a really good question. Because if there's nothing, does that mean you go into nothingness, but one day you get pooped back out? Or rebirth from the ashes of the fire like a phoenix is a more badass way of saying that. But yeah, do you get, are you just the universe's ass wind in the space that is this, What are we? Dust in the wind? Something like that? Yeah, that's a very, very cool and messed up concept. And I want to explore that with people. I want to have those conversations, hear what other people think. I want to see people draw a picture or play a song that they feel represents darkness. In the future, it would be really cool to have me and all the Cucamongas and I, and be able to just have things around us that we can use for right on the spot creativity. So just instruments or paintbrushes and canvases or pens or markers, whatever it may be. I just want to have a room where it's okay, we're going to do this, and then we do that, and we could, it's like snapping your fingers. That'd be really, really cool. Truthfully, I'm going to be very honest with you. I think we're all retarded. I've come to the conclusion, and I've accepted that fate deemed me retarded. And I say that because, God, I cannot write with my left hand. I'm better at it than I used to be. I'm much better at writing with my left hand than I used to be. And it doesn't look completely like a cerebral palsy patient is, It's like my left foot when I draw with my left hand. But I've talked about this before, and I'll talk about it for 50 years after. I really hope I don't look like I have the shakes when I'm writing with my left hand or my right and left feet, my mouth. I want to master things, and I think most people do. We just don't have the time in the day for it, and we're Indentured servitude is what we've been born into, and I think it takes hand-in-hand connection to actually fix this. I don't like this concept that we can default to killing each other when we clearly know there's a better way. And I think we need to draw those ways out in the best way that we possibly can. I don't know. I want to hear what you guys think about certain things. Let me know. I want to know if other people view things like... There's a scooter with a light coming out. Okay, it was a bike. Sorry, it was freaking me out. It's 5:42 and it's dark out. I hate this. I'm done with the winter. I'm done with the cold. I really don't want anything under 50, and 50's generous, just so I can still appreciate that quote-unquote cold everybody likes to talk about, like my girlfriend does. The cold, there's something to appreciate. What is there to appreciate? I want to sit on a stand and do prove me wrong, but with the dumbest topics. Just talk a little bit of nonsense. Make people just exist for a second, and maybe we realize that we're not so bad. It's very easy to be cynical, and it's very easy to become a monster in a world full of monsters. But I think the conclusion you're always going to come to that seems to bite you in the butt because you're not prepared for the consequences as well as you think you are, is being human in a monster world. And I like to believe that if you are given the opportunity, if you are blessed, if you are graced with a life, that if you follow the right path and you decide wholeheartedly, I'm going to be human in a monster world, you're still not going to die, but damn, you're probably going to come close, and scary things are going to happen, and, well, maybe somebody else might. That's part of the story. Maybe you might not die, but somebody you know dies, or you die, and, you know, you never know. This life is so... God. Like, I'd like to believe we could save each other. I'd like to believe that we love each other. So much so that we would help each other. I think we need to know what comes after this. Honestly. I think we need to make a real conscious effort to figure out what is after death. Like, we put so much research into nonsense, into holding each other's data so I can get an IOU or you owe me and fucking you're my bitch. Fucking I got dirt on you, motherfucker. Like, what is this? What is this? What is this Suits nonsense, man? Come on. This life is so scary. You don't know how it's gonna be. It's so easy to be scared. I'm scared. I'm not even dying. I'm healthy. But fuck, am I scared that something bad could happen? I'm scared for that experience. I'm scared for other people to have that experience. I don't get why this isn't such a serious thing for most people. At the end of the day, I still appreciate Brian Johnson and Andrew Huberman and David Sinclair, Rhonda Patrick, even the people who are unknown and not in the spotlight, but do so much research without all the social media interaction. Even in other places that people do have the good hearts to do something good, even if they're getting ridiculed, and it's just like, roll with the punches, like a Charles Hoskinson in cryptocurrency, IOHK, Cardano. Just, I don't know him personally. I'd like to. I don't know. Maybe he's the perfect guy, maybe he's not. But I'd just like to believe that if I have a good interaction with him, that's just a chain reaction. He's going to have a good interaction with somebody, and then I'll have a good interaction with somebody down the line. Like, just, it's so much better that way. Because, fuck, man, you don't want to go through that. And when you just have to continue living, even after somebody dies, you carry this weight that's never going to leave. And that's the thing, too, is that if it does leave, you feel guilty. You feel guilty, and you experience, at least I would, and I have experienced this sense of dread that with enough time passing, I can get over anything. Maybe. It's not good to just mope around forever. You got to get out of your depression at some point. But if I feel like I didn't do everything I could, or nothing just in the outside world is being done as best as it could, it kills me. It's killing me. I'm not dying, but that sure is killing me. Not even the PFAs and the PBAs and the whatever fucking plastic that we have in the water and lead and home goods supply. I don't know. I need support. I feel like this podcast thing that I'm talking to right into the void, I really want this to be like a wish chamber. Where I say something like, I need the support. I need the support so I can actually fund these things. And it would be really good to also find other people with likewise values that it's like, yeah, I'll do this specific thing. I actually really love to do this specific thing in regards to the big thing that you want to do. Holy crap, that's amazing, but I need money. I don't want to just sell something to somebody. Like, shirts are cool, but dude, just have a fucking shirt. Like, I want to give everything away for free. I want to do everything for free. 100%. I just want to figure out a way where if money's going to be integrated, it's just so baseline, but so not overbearing as an option of payment in this world that it impedes your way of life. Bartering needs to be brought back. Different forms of payment need to be brought back. Yes, even adult favors, but at the same time, Jesus Christ, people, let's think about that. If we don't let that happen, then nobody trades human beings like fucking slot coins or whatever. I don't know. What are things you trade? Pokemon cards. Pokemon in a game. Just trading money for service. What kind of service? I don't want to ban things. I don't want to tell people what to do. I think everything should be available. But Jesus Christ, can we just not be dicks about it? Like, if a woman is like, no, I want a pimp. I want one. You have a good father. I want one. Then we just give her a fucking pimp. People feel differently. Even the people, like, Javi makes a good point in Discussions 12. Check that over at the Cucamongas. He makes a great point of some people can't be happy if they're not taking from somebody. How do you solve that? I think there is a good ending. How do we solve that? I don't fucking know. Can you guys tell me how to solve that? I promise that if people actually interact with these questions, if I could just bring this out there to more people, I think what I'm saying can eventually make a difference. Like, I can't think that it won't. It just wouldn't make sense to me. I know I'm gonna die. Probably, maybe. I feel very, unsure. I was so much more sure when I was a, teenager, whatever, kid. And as you become an adult and you get older, it becomes different. And I get that 100%. But at the same time, what do we need to be doing better? We're doing something wrong. We need to be doing something right. How do I do that? What do you guys do as your morning routine? How do you adhere to what it is you say you're actually going to do? Like today, I don't think I'm going to hit everything that I've written down on my task list in my journal. But at the same time, it was my intention today that meant more than getting all those tasks checked off. It was the way that I walked into different situations, and that felt good. And even getting to that point, as somebody who could be depressed, you know who I'm talking about, person that's listening, because that resonates with you. I know, I'm talking about you, and I know I'm talking about you. So just listen to me, because sometimes words and over text, reading them in your own voice and head, it's not enough. And maybe even this isn't enough. You need to see me be animated and do push-ups in front of you so you fucking get it, bro. If you can't even say what it is that you really want or what's really in your head, if you can't articulate it as best as possible, come up with new words, stop yourself from previous habits on how you speak normally. String together a sentence as beautifully as you can. String together an entire conversation as beautifully as you can. Are there no hitches to your step? When you say something, that you really mean it each and every single time? Does everything connect? Can you take less of a break and continue to speak? Maybe. Maybe I can, maybe I can't. I continue to say that I'm bad at multitasking. And that is exactly what the problem is. How do you realize that as somebody who doesn't realize that? How do you go from, I say that all the time. Oh, wait, fuck. Me acknowledging that means that I'm not only one step closer, but that step is just 1, 2. It's walking as if you were a baby, but in your mind towards a certain situation. Take that second step. You don't gotta run. Just keep, then the third, then the fourth, and you might fall down, and that's okay. But you did something that you haven't done. And you keep going, and you keep going, and you keep going. And it's not like everybody is built the same, because some people can just master something to go from 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, and then never fall again. They just transcend it at some point. And that number of transcendence is different for everybody. Some people might be able to take those 30 steps and then be Saitama and break their limiter. Or they have to do 16 million steps in order to break their limiter, like Saitama. One Punch Man, I feel like, is a great example as to what is possible if you take things a little literally. A little literally. Take things at face value. Take things with a giant grain of salt. Take it with the ocean, if you must. But look at things from a different perspective. Whether it's envisioning it in front of your eyes, but in your brain, but you kind of see it optically. You know, just envision something. Be happier. Everybody loves when you're happier. And you don't have to fake it, but maybe you do. But even if you don't have to, be understanding to the ones that have to. And we guide them. We don't go, this dude's fake. It's like, all right, you don't know how to talk to me, and that's okay. Let's kind of take off the masks here. Look, see, I'm just like you. You know, I feel like that's what can... Does it always work? I don't know. Hey, let's take off the mask. Okay, you still feel that way? All right. Just so you know, we're both... Like, I'm this. I'm a human. Just like you. And human is this overarching terms sometimes. And you see it especially in Japanese culture and modern day anime. Where, who are the real humans? You know? Whether it's in a game, whether it's in a manga, whether it's in an anime, that is an overarching thing across many anime. See, I stuttered. I tripped. I can only walk 420 steps before I fall. I'll try to double it. Either way, yeah, just... And even these long pauses, because then I have to start talking again. Because it's like, oh wait, I'm being recorded. I'm recording myself. How do we help each other not die? In the nicest way possible. Please don't, I don't want to hear anything about adrenochrome or baby penis or fuck it. I don't know. I don't want to hear what you think you know. I don't want to hear what you think is happening. In a sense, I want you to talk to me like, okay, I saw this article, I read this article, and then I understand from that difference in wordage what you really mean by the thing you're about to convey. Whether it's I read the headline and the description in the Google search tab versus I actually read it from top to bottom. So, or you send it to me or you show it to me visually, whatever it might be, but I feel like that is a good way to open discussion. And even FaceTime, when you have a bunch of people in a chat room with their faces, it's like, you know, no one really hears anything. It's hard. You don't have that type of feeling and touch in a sense. We need more neighborly love. Not like a priest, but like, hey, neighbor, do you want this cow? No, not my wife. Do you want this extra cow that my horse birthed out? Yeah, we don't need it. And we noticed, yeah, I feel like I wanted to give you this cow, but in reality, you noticed one of his cows died. It's like, here, man, I don't know how that pertains to anything I'm saying, but I think I know how it makes sense. It's 20 minutes in. It is 5:54. 5:56 on my car clock versus my phone clock, because I like it 2 minutes ahead of my car. That rush, you know? Either way, I think I'm kind of done. And I say I think I'm kind of done, but in terms of closing remarks, I would really, really like it if this world was beautiful and loving enough to where if I were to collapse in the middle of New York City, we wouldn't feel like we might get sued for helping that person because there's laws and you never know how somebody is, or, you know, I don't know what to do, which I think is the most important one besides the suing bullshit. Implementing direct democracy, I think, is a good solution for that. It's crazy that we have to deem it direct democracy. Jesus Christ. We really all should have a way to... I'm gonna trail on, but I would like to live in a world where if I saw somebody fall and something happened to them in front of me, I would be able to do something about it and really know that I did something about it. Like, if somebody lost an arm, I'd really like to live in a world where that person can just get their arm back and not this machine Full Metal Alchemist not fucking really hook up. Like, even Full Alchemist, something that should have taken place oh so long ago, you know, years prior. We're not even there. You know what I mean? In all reality, we've really clipped our wings. And that's something that I was thinking about in the My Hero music. I think, what is it called? Let me look on Spotify real quick. It was called something The Limit. Right? No, these are openings right here. At the Limit. Yes, At the Limit is a song from My Hero Academia, the final season. And that sound where it sounds like a fairy struggling to fly. Oh my god. I'm gonna find the timestamps for myself. Again, for this podcast, I've really come to the conclusion I'm just not gonna put anything. I think it's so much better that way. I'm just gonna keep it like this, and I'm content with that. And whether people watch this or maybe something where I'm actually showing my face, so be it. But I want to do what I want to do. But yeah, My Hero, that sound, and then resonate that with At the Limit as a concept. Go listen to that song, seriously, and tell me if you know what I mean. That fairy struggling violin wind sound mixture, just pushing up in the air, the struggle of a certain character in the final season. I'm not going to say who, just to not spoil anything, but no anime, I'm trying not to curse, no anime, no story has consistently made me, it's Pavloved me into crying every episode. Crying to the point that I'll get a headache. This show has done something to me. It's so crazy. I love superheroes. And I think the biggest distinction between Eastern versus Western superheroes is that Western superheroes, man, this world is so full of hate, while Eastern superheroes so full of love. Like, even death is not the end. And again, it's the scariest thing. It's the scariest thing in this world. Besides, you know, certain forms of torture. Oh my god, this death might be better than this. That's crazy to push somebody to, you know what I mean? But what if it could be viewed as a stepping stone into something greater because you did enough in this life? What if you deluded yourself or really knew, because we should put research into knowing what actually happens after you die. I think that's extremely important. And also giving people proper human limbs instead of garbage machinery. No offense, I'm just saying you should check your manufacturing to see if your certain implant is actually leaching into you, because sometimes these metal implants tend to do those things, and they're in your body for quite some time. Also, anesthesia really isn't that great for you. All in all, I understand many of these things. I want to go to school. I want to go to school and become a surgeon, because damn, that sounds like a really good idea. A really good way to know actually how to help people. I have a friend of mine who's an EMT where, Jesus, man, thank you for doing what you do. He tells me it doesn't feel like what you think it might feel like, but at the same time, he's doing it. That's more than I can say for myself, but I say it that he's doing it in the most loving way, because seriously, he embodies exactly what it is that I'm thinking in my head. You know, and maybe he doesn't express that so much with words, but at the same time, he understands things in a more red way than I do. You know, he understands things from a different perspective that I respect, and that I always see where he's coming from. So it's almost like it is my perspective, you know? So, either way, I love the distinction. I love the love. I love the hate as well. I think the hate is something that you must look in the face and understand that I think both things can be true. I think you can go out and then there be nothing, but then that nothing is just like a night of sleep that you don't remember what your dream is, but you woke up the next day, you know? Or maybe when you die, you get to this intermediary place, and it's like, okay, if you go through here, this is where the party of souls is. Like, you can, like, everything is actually a big casino and a big arcade where it's like, oh, wow. Whew, you know? But at the same time, maybe it's more real, because maybe this machinery, or maybe this link, this metaphysical concept is personally attached to you. Maybe you yourself, if you could bring it to life, have a book of just the entirety of you. Or maybe it's a screen. Maybe we've upgraded from book to screen 100% officially. You know? In what way can you combine those things as well? You know, maybe you combine tablet and book, where each page can be seen as a tablet, but it's like, how do you verify that? How do you keep it as is? You know what I mean? You know, maybe you can only change a page 4 or 5 times, or I don't know. There's something to be said there. I love you all. Thank you to all my friends, all my family, all acquaintances, all people I've heard, all 3 of those categories that I've mentioned that I do and don't talk to at the moment. I appreciate every memory and every experience that you've given me. And I hope to do the best that I can in this world. Not to subdue any type of darkness within me, but to do, because one, I like to cry. I am a cry. I love it, man. It means you're feeling the ultimate feeling. I keep it reserved, except for my hero, man. But I'm doing this because no one else is actually doing it. And the people who have done it often get killed. Jesus Christ, I please don't. I don't ever want the name Messiah, Savior. To even think I'm in that category. Jesus Christ. You know what? I am in that category. No. I think what I'm going to do and put out into this world is right. I think creating a book that I don't even want to say, not even going to say that, but I want to create a book where it actually gives a step-by-step guide on how to not only bring a forest back from scratch after it's been burned or acidified or, you know, whatever it may be. I want to give something to people. I want to give something fantastic to people. I want to do the ultimate thing that doesn't seem to be being done for people. I want to be strong enough. I want to not feel like I'm going to get sick and then, progress I could be making is completely impeded because I'm not strong enough to actually persist. God, it sucks when it feels like you can't really just get rid of almost immediately. Maybe intravenously with, something in your vein, but all right. Yeah, I want to help as much as possible. I don't need to make a lot of money past a certain point. I don't need to make any money past a certain point. I want to make a certain amount, and then every dollar that I get after that just doesn't go in my pocket. I just don't need it. I need land so I can build my house, so I can build this place in different places around the world where it's ultimate free healthcare, and it's for everybody. And again, it's not like we can just have a line waiting and put time limits on our doctors like, nope, 15 minutes and then you kick them out. Fuck their needs. They can come right about. Come around about. They can go to the back of the line. So I'll see how I do it. I have ideas, but I need money to do that. I need money to make a place that has a sauna, a gym, a computer lab, computer cafe, fucking at a kitchen, at a bar, not an alcohol bar, but just a bar like a sushi or, just meat, cafeteria. You get it, I want this place where there's an outside where anybody who's not even a member can just sit there. We have a limit on how many people can sit there, but we just have this area where because people don't want to eat in their cars or at work during break time. So come and fucking sit here. We'll have live entertainment as much as we possibly can. People live in different schedules and different times. I kind of almost like to live in the nighttime. I like both, but yeah. Either way, I'm going to do the best that I can. I'm sorry I'm rambling. I feel like I don't know how to nail home what I'm saying. I wish the world would literally change. I'm not trying to wait on it, John Mayer. I'm done waiting for the world to change.